Palm Key Marina. We're sailing towards Highbourne Cay in the Exumas. Well, we're not exactly sailing towards Highbourne Cay. We've decided to take what the wind's given us, and we're going to sail on a tack, not directly towards our target, and then tack back to it. So we got our single reef main up, and the jib reefed into about 100%, and we're sailing along. So the wind picked up a little bit more, and we reefed in the head sail a little. Lindy's downstairs checking on stuff because we heard things crashing around down there. All down, good down below, Lindy?
Yeah.
Well, we did it again. The wind's clocked around on the nose. There doesn't seem to be a good way to bear off and still get to anywhere that we want to go in any sort of timely fashion. So we are seriously bashing into the waves. And it sucks again. Lindy says eventually we're going to get lucky and we're going to accidentally pick a good day to sail. Oh well.
We bashed along into the steep chop on the east side of the White Banks. About every third wave, Holiday's bow would go completely under, and gallons upon gallons of water would come flooding down the rail and out the rail drains. Thanks to the nice setup of a Tartan 37 and our new Dodger, we did stay dry in the cockpit though. Bashing into the waves did slow our progress to under 3 knots though, and it seemed like this passage would never end.
What do you think about today, Lindy? You've been in a better mood than me. How have you been doing it?
Thinking positive thoughts.
Well, you're a champ, that's for sure. Well, we finally made it. It was a rough sail, but here we are in the Exumas. It's Highbourne Cay, and we're looking for our spot to anchor. Lindy's going to be up there doing that in a minute. A lot of big boats in here. Well, how'd we do, Lindy?
I think we're good.
Got it.
Maybe you're going to swim on it though, right?
Yeah. We'll go swimming. Check out that anchor. And a special thank you to the guy on Active Captain that left the review that this is the only anchor I ever saw a big shark in when I was swimming for my anchor. Somebody ought to delete that one, because you just can't forget that once you read it. Well, here we go. Time to go check out the anchor. Lindy's busy getting salt off of everything. It's a salty boat.
I swam through the crystal clear waters, following the anchor chain to make sure that the anchor was buried deep in the sand. Luckily, no big sharks came by to check me out.
Very good. So, Lindy has made us a snack tray here and heated up some of her bread with cheese. It's like a yummy pizza, and we are watching a beautiful sunset here. So today we're going to venture out from holiday here at Highbourne Cay in the dinghy and check some stuff out. We've got a lunch packed and do some snorkeling around here too. Wow. This place is beautiful. We decided to eat our veggie wraps. Beautiful day. Unbelievable, really. Go check out some of these rocks, climb on them.
It was a beautiful view of the water and the beach from the rocks. After my little hike, it was time for some snorkeling. We snorkeled in the crystal clear water along the rocky ledges just a few feet off the beach. The water was really shallow and there were aquarium type fish everywhere. We even found a couple of coral heads to swim on. I swam and swam, sometimes in just a few inches of water, checking out the cool rock formations and all the colorful fish. The Exumas certainly don't disappoint when it comes to underwater beauty. It was even prettier than I'd hoped for or imagined.
That was awesome. Alright, so today we're going to go out again, and we think the weather will be good enough today to go to Highbourne Cay and see the endangered pink Bahamian iguanas. Well, the iguana excursion didn't go so good today. The dinghy motor stopped working. It wasn't even firing at all. Or I just pulled on the cord over and over and over again and couldn't get it going. So I took off the carburetor, which I'd never done before, and took it all apart, and it looked fine. And you know, no clogging or anything that I could see, and I blew out the parts that I could. Put that all back together, been really frustrated, and I couldn't get it started. So now we've got to figure out what to do, because we called the Highbourne Cay Marina and they don't have an outboard service here, and we're like far away from any outboard service. But we're going to have to skip a bunch of places that we wanted to go, but we can go back up to them. It's just, it's kind of frustrating. So I haven't had a really good day, and I've been just feeling really bad about it. I mean, we can pump up the kayak and do most of it from there too, but without the mobility of the dinghy, a lot of the stops around here won't be as nice as they would be. So we got to get to Shroud Key and get it fixed, because I can't fix it myself, I don't guess, which that makes me feel crappy too, because I need to be able to fix stuff like that. So, but anyways, that's what's going on. So we're gonna probably leave tomorrow and start heading that direction, and we'll see how it goes. So today we're headed for Shroud Key. Takes us a little closer to where we can get ye old broken dinghy motor fixed. Hopefully we get some decent sailing today. Get rid of my discouragement a little bit. There's really good kayaking trails at Shroud Key. That's another reason we're going there. We may stay there a few days.
We had a really nice 4-hour sail to Shroud Key. We dropped the anchor and I dove on it to make sure it was buried deep. The anchorage was great, and a couple of days later we jumped in the kayak to check out the mangrove river that goes across the island. We timed the trip with a falling tide, so we barely had to paddle as the current of the river moved us along. The scenery was beautiful, and before long we came to the other side of the island where the most awesome beach I had ever seen waited for us.
Oh, different lizard. Some sort of skink? Yeah. Yeah, I saw it in the bluish tail. And here's the little river we kayaked in between the Great Bahama Banks and the Exumas Sound.
What an awesome view! This high point of the island was called Camp Driftwood. Here on Shroud Key in the middle of the Exumas, we felt like we might be the only people on Earth.
This has got to be the best beach I've ever been on before. So it's getting close to low tide. Looks like I'll be able to walk right out here and give it a try. Looks like a cool place to hang out. Oh, this looks like a good place to sit down. Ah. Wow. Look who's coming to join me. What do you think about this beach, Lindy?
Nice. Really pretty.
I think it's the best beach I've ever been to.
Quite awesome. Quite possible.
We just sat there and watched the white tropic birds with their long tails dipping and diving. The turquoise of the water reflected on their wings when the sun hit it just right.
This is where we paddle in from here. Gonna wait for the tide to turn around so we can have a favorable current going back out. That's what I'm talking about. I needed to get some full body immersion.
Here he goes.
Woo! The water temperature here is so nice.
Yeah, it was when I got in the water.
After a few hours, the tide turned and we rode the current back towards Holiday, again barely having to paddle. On the way back, we saw quite a few sea turtles swimming through the shallow water of the river. This was definitely an excursion that we'll never forget.
So this has been my favorite day in the Exumas so far. The kayak trip across to the outside at Shroud Key was just awesome. Best beach I've ever been to. Lindy's making us a famous cheese tray. And we're just chilling outside here. And it's just beautiful. And we're making the best of it, even though the dinghy motor is broken. And tomorrow we're heading on to the Wardrick Wells, and there's a nice mooring field there.
It's the headquarters of the Land and Sea Park.
It should be a really nice place where everything's close by. We won't need the dinghy. The kayak will work fine. And then we'll probably go straight from there to Staniel Key, where there's an outboard mechanic. I've already called and see if we can get the outboard fixed, and that way we can have the dinghy back, and we'll head on down to Georgetown, stopping wherever we want to. And then when we come back up through the Exumas, we'll hit any place that we want to go to that we missed,